Hello there.
Jonathan Majors has been kicked out of the MCU after his charges in his court case coming back as guilty. He has been found guilty of assault and harassment.
You're fired.
We're going to talk about it in this video. We're going to see if Marvel has a solution up their sleeve or if this is just a collapse of Marvel in general. We're going to talk about it in this video, guys. If you enjoy my content, consider subscribing and let's discuss it.
The Atomic Fan.
So Jonathan Majors is officially out as Kang. And it seems that Marvel is stepping away from Kang completely as a character and actually moving in another direction, with Avengers: The Kang Dynasty now just being titled Avengers 5 and potentially titled Avengers: Secret Wars Part 1. It's a crazy time to be a Marvel fan because things really seem to be in shambles. It seems like every time we talk about Marvel, not even just on this channel, but in general, in culture right now, it seems that Marvel Studios is in big trouble. And even more than that, every time Marvel pops up in the headlines, there seems to be negative press surrounding the entire franchise in general.
Is the Grizzly Reaper mowing? Yes! The danger must be growing, for the roars keep on rolling, and they're certainly not showing any signs that they are slowing.
And not even just on the political side, with some of the routes that Disney has taken, with some of the decisions they've decided to make with their company, which has polarized fans in both directions. But just in general, with the content of their entertainment, with the quality of the entertainment, with the decisions of their storytelling, and with the continuous box office disappointments coming from Marvel, things don't really seem to be looking up at all right now. But there is a way out of all of this, and I don't think people really see it because we're kind of in tunnel vision mode right now, because we're kind of deep in the trenches, boys. We are very deep in the trenches with Marvel, especially if you're trying to be a fan. It's like, god damn, it has not been really shit since 2019, since Avengers Endgame. Stuff has just not been hype at all. But there is definitely a way out for the MCU if they can just get back to telling story-driven, character-focused narratives. And I mean, that's kind of a stereotype that can be found instead across 100 different YouTube channels. But I think people are really underestimating how big of a comeback Avengers: Secret Wars is going to be for the MCU. I don't think people realize the power of nostalgia, and I think that honestly, barring everything else, I think that Marvel is definitely going to put maximum effort into making those Avengers movies good. But the big kicker of bringing back potentially Chris Evans, Robert Downey Jr., if we see Tobey Maguire, Hugh Jackman, Ryan Reynolds, and all of these characters, all of the big characters of Marvel crossing over for a multiverse ending event, that is something that is going to be unprecedented once again for the MCU. Seeing all of these characters coming together to stop the end of the multiverse, and not just being the finale of the MCU, but being the finale of all of the Marvel movies in general, is going to be a huge thing for the film industry. It's going to be there's going to be tons of press coverage, there's going to be tons of media coverage, there's going to be tons of headlines saying that Marvel is doing something unprecedented that's never been seen before in film. Once again, just like when Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame came out, because honestly, it is true. Those Avengers movies are going to set the bar once again for the superhero genre and for universe building franchise storytelling. And even if, you know, all of these future Marvel movies come out, you know, let's say barring Deadpool 3, every other Marvel movie is shit. I think even if Avengers: Secret Wars Part 1 and 2, let's just call it that now, let's just say Avengers 5 and 6 are really good and are really well done, it is still going to be a great peak for the MCU. And it's going to be once again a giant, massive movie event, just like Avengers Endgame, just like the very first Star Wars, just like Jurassic Park. And I think the chance is somewhat high that the movie could actually outgross Avengers Endgame. Like I said, I don't really think that people are giving enough credit to the story concepts of Avengers: Secret Wars Part 1 and 2, because the multiverse is definitely getting played out. It is getting played out in general, but this isn't going to be a multiverse movie. This is going to be the end of the multiverse. So this is going to be the destruction of multiple universes. The scope of the films are just going to be massive if they do it right and they keep it in line with Jonathan Hickman's Secret Wars. So I don't really have any other point other than to hammer home the fact that people are really underestimating Avengers: Secret Wars and what it's going to do for the film industry, what it's going to do for the superhero genre, and people are going to once again be saying that this is the peak of the MCU. And before I top this video off, I want to flip the coin real quick and just say that there is a chance that the writing is shit, because if the writing is dog shit in Avengers Secret Wars or Avengers 5 and 6, then the movie's going to tank either way, and it's going to have the same reputation that The Force Awakens did and The Last Jedi did for Star Wars and all of these other movies. It's going to be a big box office success, but it's going to have horrible critical reception. It's going to have horrible fan reception. But I don't really think that's going to happen. I think Kevin Feige is going to have his hands heavily on this movie, and Disney is going to be hammering home that these movies have to be good. And considering they're going to be 5, 6, 7, 8 years in the making, I have no doubt in my mind that they'll get the writing down, they'll get stuff figured out for the movies. Now, I'll cap the video off by talking about some of the things that are probably coming to the MCU after Avengers Secret Wars. So, after Avengers Secret Wars, it seems like the MCU is going to be moving away from the idea of the Avengers. Not entirely. The Avengers aren't going to go away forever, but the focus of the MCU after Avengers Secret Wars is definitely going to be the X-Men. I'm not sure how this is supposed to work. I'm not sure if they're going to focus on smaller movies and then they're going to cap these franchises or these phases off with X-Men films, if they're going to do away with phases entirely and just focus on making smaller independent movies and then having the X-Men be the center of the MCU. We'll see when it comes to fruition, but I have a funny feeling that that's the route that they're going to go, doing smaller scale stories, doing more independent focused stories, not revolving everything around the idea of a shared universe, and then just having the X-Men be kind of the center of the MCU and having them be big event films with the X-Men in them. And probably continuing the Avengers, recasting the main Avengers, stuff like that. It's going to be a very crazy time to be a Marvel fan because it is going to be like a freaking renaissance. It's going to be like an entirely different Marvel universe. So comment down below what you guys think about my commentary, about my thoughts, what you think about the state of the MCU and Jonathan Majors not returning as Kang. And for this video, that's all I got, guys. So Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, whatever. Until the next video, guys, be safe and stay well. Bye-bye.